Don't be jumping. Jump in.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3.
Why, hello, everyone out there in Whiskey Land. Welcome to my Whiskey Den, your favorite. Hold on here. Favorite public. I tried to take control. My computer's behind, so your favorite public access whiskey review show. I can't use the hand. Your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king. Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. We're going to be looking at some Wisconsin brandies and then a Wisconsin bourbon at the end. So we have some interesting stuff. But as you can see, we have Mitch with us this evening, but we also have Morgan. Now, there's reasons for this, and we're always happy to have Morgan on. But poor Mitch, you can't taste with us this evening, can you?
I can't do alcohol today, so I have a much better looking alcohol taster today.
Yes, we have the great substitute.
A really good substitute.
I will just be color commentary.
with notes and things he has not tasted.
She holds the glass with left hand and the right.
Dude, if Mitch Mystery Science Theaters this thing, that would be awesome.
She raises it at approximately a 13.6 degree angle. Let's be quiet while she takes a sip. I'm stupid. Whatever.
And that is all right. So, like I said, we have two brandies and one bourbon we're going to hit today. Before we go any further, I want to say thank you for everyone in the chat for showing up today. We do appreciate that because we know you went through an eclipse. It is Rex Manning Day. That's probably burning at the back of a lot of people's minds here as to why that music's it's copyrighted. That's the problem. You know, YouTube's against that stuff. I think there's a basketball game and there's a few other things going on this evening. So it's very, very busy, but I'm going to tell you this is good. What we're going to be going through is going to be interesting and a good tasting. So, oh, sorry. We're talking about Iron Root Cigar Blend. Yes, of course, it's gone. God damn it.
I almost drove down there to get it. Almost. It was one of those things where it was like, do I want to spend 30 hours in the car in 2 days to pick up 2 bottles of whiskey?
Yes, you do.
It's
closer than I thought it was going to be.
It's burning at the back of your head that you even brought it up. So you know it's a question mark.
I know where you can get a sample. Because I was in contact. It's like, hey, and even the employees, because we could buy one and that's it. So 10 o'clock, and I had to do a doctor's office visit, and I was trying to get out of there by 10 o'clock my time so I could hurry up and do it. And I had everything loaded on my phones. Like, if I have to, I will pull the hell over and do this. And I got back to work at 9:59 and ran my fat butt into the building and got in there like got it. So yeah, I'll get mine. I will be happy to give samples to people. So,
well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want to tell me about the Bar Cart Co-op though before we go further?
Sure. I would love to do that.
I think you should.
Okay. I got put on the spot on a bourbon turntable doing that.
Oh, did you now?
No, I did. I did our version.
So you're the upcoming. Here's the upcoming thing.
Well, yeah, I'm something. All right. Hey, the Bar Cart Co-op, which is a collection of friends who create content for the whiskey and other distilled spirits public. The Bar Cart Co-op YouTube and Facebook pages have information about upcoming and past special shows, which happen about every quarter, from blind tastings to distiller panels to discussion of special collaborations and the usage of unique grains. Bar Cart Co-op has educational and fun episodes for your enjoyment. And I know there's an upcoming Bar Cart show, and I totally forgot what the one coming up is, but I know that there's a really nice person in the chat who will fill us in. So that I would appreciate that if you would. So we have Distillers Talk as the oldest one in the group, hosted by Alan Bishop and Christy Atkinson. It is a conversation with people from distilleries and distillery adjacent that gets into the weeds with their interviews. New episodes arrive at the end of the work week. And if that's not nerdy enough, go to One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, where our friend Alan Bishop answers any questions about distilling and often puts them to the test. It could be an individual grain, whole mash bills, equipment, and methodology. New episodes come out randomly, so subscribe to that. And then there is the aforementioned Bourbon Turntable, where they mix the love of music with the love of whiskey. They have conversations with musicians, writers, distillery folks, and common folks like us about music and whiskey. It releases every Wednesday on all your platforms, including YouTube. And hopefully the Bourbon Turntable guy will tell us what's coming up this week for Bourbon Turntable. We also have, if you have ghosts, we have everything. A show about spirits and paranormal among us, as well as the unexplained and the spiritual. Subscribe on Spotify to get the 3 previous seasons and the 4th season, which is in progress right now. And last but not least, we have David Levine and Whiskey in My Ring podcast, where David interviews people, and Dave does interviews, and then he also does on his website, does reviews of spirits, and has been doing single barrel picks. David gets into the weeds with his guests and with his reviews, so please check him out. And as they said in the chat, yes, the upcoming one is one on the Eric Wolf, Alan Bishop collaboration that they did, where they found a several 100-year-old recipe that they recreated and did a couple of different expressions of it. And that is they're calling it Wolf and Wilson. So that's what the Bar Cart Co-op one is.
Yeah, it's a very interesting collaboration with that.
Still waiting for the Bourbon Turntable, what the show is this week, but I'm sure it'll be a good one.
It's okay. And next week is our show with Alan and Brian Cushing, where we're going to discuss the documentary a little more in depth that they created about absinthe. And that'll be interesting, I was going to say, because if you haven't seen it, make sure you do. It's only an hour long, so not long at all. Easy. You can find it on the Victorian Bar Room on YouTube. So make sure you check that out, because I have some questions. I'm going to save them, but I have some questions that arose from that, which is I'm going to store those up for next week. So this week, this one,
Beth Burrows, which this one's been waiting to be published.
Yes,
because she
because Kevin
told Kevin some things. Yes. And she told Kevin some stuff that then they're like, we haven't released that yet. You can't talk about it. So that one, and also I
did the timeline. Sorry.
Yes. And I believe he gave her a blind tasting, which I thought was really cool. And I could be wrong on that as well. So yeah. And then Jerry Dalton, which that should be really cool. I would really like to meet that guy someday. And Jerry is now publishing stuff. Yes. Some cool stuff. And then in a couple weeks it'll be Golden Beaver, and I'm on the show helping him out, talking about the Bakersfield Sound and California Spirits, of course.
Very, very cool. So,
and Chris likes Don Henley. I'm just being an ass. Chris Canning from Golden Beaver. He likes Don Henley. It's like I'm being an ass.
That's what I knew, so I'm okay with that. All right. So the reason I was doing brandy versus brandy here is because, well, the Dancing Goat brandy, which we have had several times, between just this and a bourbon and a cocktail shows. We've had it on a few times, but Wisconsin has a new little contender for a home. Oh, so bright, so bright. But the Berens Old Fashioned Brandy. This is Charlie Berens, the comedian. His brandy that reminds him of what his grandpa would drink. And I have not touched this yet, but so I'm intrigued to see the difference because technically they both come from Dancing Goat. So, and they're both under $20, mostly where you go in a lot of places. So we were having that discussion. As long as the flavor profile is different, they've created two things that can compare with Corbel. So that's what I think for me makes it kind of exciting. Plus, this could be a little bit different, different flavor. So let's start with the one that we know. Just to get.
Can I ask what the proof is on both of these?
Okay, yes, you may. And 43 on the Dancing Goat one. And then, hey, Fred, how's it going with you, sir? Good to see you. 45 on the Berens.
Whoa, smoking.
Yep, so I'm going to pour them both out now.
That's good. I remember it being good.
I think I had this at Distill America last year.
The Dancing Goat one?
I think.
I would believe so.
But
I would wager that.
I know I remember I had a whole bunch of stuff from Dancing Goat last year when we were up there. So
yeah, you did.
And just a whole bunch of stuff in general that day. So
all right. So I'm going with just the Dancing Goat one first. So yeah, like the nectarine, kind of peachy pear, a little lighter twist on the brandy than what I had expected originally from them. Oh, Mike, you've had this before and you're taking notes all right again. Easy. Man.
Well, because I couldn't find my notes from before, so I'm just going to retake them, which I do that. I retaste things, and then I'm going to put all these things together, and then I can go back and I can say, oh, well, the times I've retried them, people change, Patrick.
I hate the part, actually keeping part of that where you could slide it in behind another one that's an excellent idea of using it that way. So, but yeah, I was. So
I definitely get some apple, cherry, but I also get some floral notes on this too. I get some rose. I really get a lot of peony on this.
Mm-hmm.
So not only is she pretty, she knows tasting notes that I don't, because she's like, oh, I know flowers. And I'm like, yeah, there's like blue and pink and red. And
it's the purple flower.
What's that one flower?
I mean, it's kind of rough to be me because she likes flowers, and then she'll say words that are flowers but are just syllables to me, and then I have to try and remember what they are to eventually get them for her.
Oh, hey, well, we're tasting two things from you. I mean, I think that's kind of fair.
I actually almost get a little bit of like a red licorice on the nose as well.
I'm getting a little bit, yeah.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
You know what I remember about this, because I haven't. It's been quite a while since I've had it, but what I remembered about it is, given what it was manufactured, what it's manufactured for, in Wisconsin, it's still not. They could have very easily just made this really, really sweet on the nose and super sweet on the palate, and didn't. And I've kind of forgotten about that, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. This is extremely approachable. Like you could a wine drinker. I don't like brandy. Really? You're halfway there, dude. Just try this.
Yeah.
Yes. And Mitch, I know you can smell anything. It's just, what do you remember? Did you get? Because I'm already going on the tasting. Sorry. Someone's got to wettle me.
So I get a lot of candied fruit, and by candied fruit I mean kind of like the red licorice, like gummy fruits. So like gummy bears and like Swedish fish, and Stuff like that is really what I'm getting. I can't say any flowers.
Mm. Okay. Because I'm already on my second drink here. When it's in your mouth, there's this nice light, like silky quality to it.
Mm-hmm.
Before like once you open up, then it opens up. I get like a little apricot-y, like a stone fruit, but a brighter stone fruit, which I remember not expecting. I still get cherry, and a couple other notes, but that opens up. There's a little spice, and it's warm. And I'll go back again here because that was like half a thought.
Yeah, that's one thing I wrote down on there, that it's lively.
Yeah.
Like flavors and everything are there, but it's lively. It's just not. It doesn't just sit there. You're
It's
muted,
like
Pat.
I got there. It's a little creamy, it's like Werther's original on the top when it's in your mouth, and that's where I was thinking it had like that silky, kind of almost like buttery layer, and then it's just a little bit of frosting. Then that goes away, and it's all the other flavors punching in underneath that. For me, sorry, it's the way my tongue's going tonight. Ooh, the pig. God, I should have bought more bottles at that price. I think that's the one that won double gold and then ended up at Piggly Wiggly. Great.
Oh,
Piggly
really?
Wiggly.
Yeah, it's like a little grocery store chain.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Familiar with the Piggly Wiggly.
They sell more apparel than they do groceries.
This is almost kind of like a tropical fruit and yogurt parfait.
I like that. Let's see
Or maybe not tropical, but like I definitely get a lot of the apricot, plum, kind of those type of fruits.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's got that like creaminess of like a yogurt or like an actual real whipped cream, not the stuff that comes in the can.
Oh.
I had to take a second pour.
I
had to take a second pour.
Oh, well, that's fair. Well, that's just like the warmer up one because we've all had that one, and I know we liked it, but I thought.
Well, I haven't had it in a while.
I know.
I can't buy it near me.
Well,
but when I go up there the next time, I mean, I'm going up there in a month, so
I can make that happen. Ooh, yeah. and we have a place that we can get anything from Dave Schlapper. We have a secure location this year.
This time?
Yes, we've been assured.
Yeah, I got to make sure to put in for that. Actually, if Fred's still on there, I have a question. Is there any movement on being able to procure the spirits that you sample there?
I don't from our state, dude.
You never know.
I'm just gonna probably we're a little foot draggers in that aspect.
Kentucky did it like 2 years ago, man.
Yeah, I stand by my statement. Yeah. Our government likes to pretend things or flex for no reason. But no, that's why I wanted to start with this one before we go to the Berens one, because I'm thinking this is going to be a little different because of the proof. I do like the color and the way the bottle looks. It's a very like old 60s, old 70s look to it. It looks like something his grandpa probably would have grabbed. Now, off just looking at it, it looks darker than the Dancing Goat one. Hold on, let me put my sample down. There we go. I don't know if it's good, but a much darker. The first one much lighter. This one much darker.
You want to do that again? I embiggened you.
It's okay. I was like, there we go. So color-wise, significantly different. This probably more of the brandy style. Most most people are used to seeing when they see a bottle of it. So put that back down.
Oh,
I like noises like that.
it's on the nose, very different than the Dancing Goat.
Oh,
This is butterscotch galore for me.
Oh yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Mm.
And there's like a candied something. Hold on, now I just got a first little whiff in.
I don't know what is different between the two.
Well, that's a whole different. This is our tasting. I'll have people on for that.
I'm just
I know.
just curious.
Okay, well, we'll find that out later. This was more of a tasting, so you kept your mind straight on me.
I feel like I should have bought some Corbel so I could compare this other two.
That's what I would say. That's a whole. Like there could be a whole nother show where we do this and then do an old fashioned.
It's $4, Mitch. It's okay.
Yeah, but it's for a former employer of mine.
Well, I'll send you the sample. Okay.
Just stop giving them money.
What if we were to steal it?
Yeah. What if it just showed off? You know,
No mortal qualms with theft. Only supporting the previous.
I almost get, I don't know if you've ever been to like a saltwater taffy place when they first like pull the taffy and it's going through the machine that like mixes the actual like flavor in. It's kind of that smell like before they mix the flavor in of just a basic saltwater taffy.
I get what you're talking about. And that's not, I was almost like up until that point, I was getting a little more barrel note and it wasn't opening up as much. And I was going easily. This is what I could see a lot of people doing in an old fashioned, but that is a neat note. Because it's not, what you said is great because it's not like a bubble gum. But it has that, like, you can smell it has a like elasticity smell to it, but it is not.
Yeah.
The saltwater taffy part is great. It's like like you said, like a flat version of it, but
That is a good one. That makes sense.
yeah. You might have to come on more often.
It's cool. We can take Weddle off.
No, you don't have to leave.
And then I can just
Mitch, can you be sick next week?
next week I'll sit over here, and then the week after it'll be like over here, and then I'll just slowly leave the frame.
You start there, and then slowly he starts to turn like this and watch this way instead of looking at the camera.
Occasionally, you see like his head come up from the bottom or the side or something.
Or just like a hand like thing coming to grab like a bottle, just like, oh, I'll be back later, bye.
He'll just come and pour the samples.
That's true. Oh, make him dress up.
That's cool.
Garçon.
He comes in with the tux.
That Brown Foreman was Lurch, so whatever. Wouldn't be the first
Hey,
time.
Lurch was cool.
All right. I will try tasting this again, sans laughing.
It's great. It aerates the brandy as you drink it.
Not if it comes through your nose.
The cherry note on the nose when I'm sniffing it is hidden. Like it's behind it. It comes in afterwards. Okay, I'm going to taste because that's where everyone else is at. Whoa. Different. Like there's like a cream soda. Almost like a lit, and I don't want to, and cream soda and almost like a light sarsaparilla hitting underneath it, but it's hold on.
That butterscotch candy note. So on the nose, it reminded me of the butterscotch candies my grandma kept in the dish on her little coffee table. And mouthfeel on this is like residual. You've been sucking on one of those butterscotch candies, because there's like there's a big can, like the fruit flavors are like candy fruit flavors, not like raw fruit.
Yeah, well, and like you're saying, you get like the almost like little bourbony flavors at the front end of it, and then it almost pops more with like candied fruit, like a candied fruit tray you'd see at Christmas almost. Oh, see.
I can't believe I'm saying this because I despise it, but it almost kind of reminds me of fruitcake a little bit.
Okay. Well, that would be an old. If you were thinking old Wisconsin Christmas, fruitcake would be a good symbol for that.
Yeah, because I even kind of get like it's that same like weird fruit, like the weird fruit part of it. But I don't know. I'm getting that fruitcake vibe.
I'm curious if there was. I know there's a chance for another show, Patrick, but Fred's here, and he seems to be paying attention. and we really like Fred, but I'm just curious what the purpose of is there a purpose behind the Berens other than you said made brandy like Grandpa had?
Yeah.
If it was like, this is a sipping one, this is with a pipe, this is an old fashioned one versus
with a pipe.
Oh, I can see this with a pipe or a cigar pretty easily.
Yes, that's right. Because it has these deeper little notes on the back end. Like the bakery notes on this are rich, and that's your fruitcake thing is neat because it's densely packed. Like it feels like something compressed. Like the fruit flavors you're getting, it's like a bit of this, a bit of that. And that's a candied version inside it. That's actually, damn it, Morgan. See, this is like when I first started and I bought a thing of Dalmore, and it was like the, third or fourth bottle, and we were going to a party, and I had a sample before I left. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I just want to see. I just bought it. I want to see what it's like. We're not bringing it with." And here she takes the damn bottle, takes a whiff, and then basically, without looking at the back of their descriptor on the box, basically nails it. And I just was depressed a little bit. So
women are better.
Yeah, well, yes. Then they have that's a different sense of smell, and a lot of times better, like you said. So, but yeah, that note of fruitcake's density and everything with it is really neat.
I also get the nuttiness of the fruitcake too.
The what? Sorry.
Like the nuttiness of a fruitcake. I get that on the palate a little bit.
And there's like a little waxiness, and then like a little bit of and a baking spice pop from under my tongue.
Yep.
Where that's where that's all coming out. Not as cherry as I was, because I hadn't had it until this evening. And I was thinking maybe there'd be a little more cherry note to play into Wisconsin old fashioned. But I think this is a much better decision when making it, knowing that you're going to be going into a fruity cocktail in Wisconsin. The fruit that was, so the flavors in this, I think, are going to play well with a Wisconsin old fashioned rather than leaning into it, kind of sidebarring it a bit, adding a different flavor of depth to it. I wasn't expecting that. This is kind of because I was not expecting this flavor. So good for you guys.
It might be one of the times where I say one of my dumb things, but between the two brandies from the same distillery, they really seem like this is me. Tell me if you think I'm totally way off base, please do. But like the standard Dancing Goat is just clean, vibrant, refreshing, all around, a good gateway for people, etc. And this one seems more just like you're gonna throw this one in a cocktail, you're gonna get really sweet. It's like we didn't finish college, but you're gonna have a lot of fun. Kind of a as a dumb, one of my dumb statements, but anyway.
So Dancing Goat is to get wine drinkers to drink brandy, and Berens is to get people drunk at college. I think
I didn't say that.
Hey, how about this? Either one of them compared to a Corbel is, I know Mitch can't taste this one, but the Berens, if you're putting that versus a Corbel, that's water. It's watery versus flavor. Like for me, Corbel seems thin. Is the best way to, I guess, phrase that in general.
Yeah, this has a body to it.
Yeah, not thin on either one, but the more barrel aged version coming in the Berens, I think definitely affects it. You can tell that, and it gives it much more of a maturity to it overall, more than what I was expecting for the price point. Because like I was saying, the thing for me is both of these hit at 20 or under pretty much everywhere in Wisconsin and other places. So both very affordable.
When we go up to Wisconsin, we're trying to figure out if we're getting a U-Haul or not.
Just get a pod.
Well, it depends on how much, which I mean, it'd be a good time to talk about the Still America, but it depends on how much you're talking about bringing up.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm in talks with a hotel, so we'll finish some discussions tomorrow, and then maybe we'll have some answers before we lean into
I'm
something.
going to bring a portion of my bar with me.
A portion of your bar. See, did you already empty it out? There's nothing on this top shelf that I can see behind you, and there's this other shelf. That's
It's in his trunk.
Part of the reassessment.
You do not want to see where everything is. There's the only spot there is on my bar top right now is where the laptop is. Everything else is bottles. Everything on the coffee table is bottles. Everything around the coffee table is bottles. Everything at the base of the stairs is bottles. Everything on my table is bottles.
Kevin brought up a good question. Who's going to hold his mantle?
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay.
It might be cheaper just to rent a vehicle instead of worrying about pulling a trailer.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Rent a.
Like
Well, not.
Yeah.
That's a bit much.
It is. That's a lot of
The ride up
security.
and back would be brutal in a U-Haul truck.
Yeah,
Well, especially if you're concerned about what's in it too, where you're like,
it's there's gonna be a lot of spotted cow.
on the way back.
Oh, sure.
he's making up the difference in cost of the trailer with spotted
The
cow.
local secondary market in Bourbon has allowed people to trade spotted cow for bourbon. So,
Well, there you go.
Well, I'm not going to stop you in that. That sounds like
I mean, yeah, that's the case.
it's a few $1,000s in spotted cow, and I could rebuild my entire bar for a fraction
That's
of
pretty
the
good.
cost.
That's a pretty good
not
idea.
a bad idea, really. I didn't know there'd be that much. I'll take it. See me making a trip down in like November or something. We got to do this before Christmas. We need to get one more trade off before this goes down. All right. So I like both of them. I was surprised by the more of the depth and the direction the Berens one went than what I was expecting. So that's cool.
Very surprised by that. I knew nothing about it, and I'll be honest. I don't know who Charlie Berens is.
Oh, he's a comedian. Will you look it up? He does like.
I can tell you, I've
Midwest
never come across that name that I can recollect at all.
Okay.
You just lost like 50 cool points.
On a scale of 10.
Yeah.
That's the impressive.
I'm used to it.
I just like that hurt a little.
I have two daughters. I lose cool points constantly.
I will say, so Pat sent 2 bottles of sample bottles of the Berens. And when I opened it, she saw it and she was like, you can't have this. I get to drink it. And I was like, he sent 2. You can have 1. And she went, 2? I was like, you can have 1.5.
Hey, that's what it's for. All right. Now I'm pouring one more because we got one more we're going to taste this evening. This one is and I'll do this because they're doing stuff, is a Dirty Helen from Great Lakes Distillery. This one is a cask strength version that is typically Dirty Helen's, when you get a lot of it, since it's straight, is a 2-year-old version. This is the first release that was a 4-year-old version of it. And I believe 62.5 from what I can read, inverted from the screen. To be honest, I did go down for the pick of this. They thought they were going to pick 1 barrel, and they ended up picking, I think, 3 or 2, and a combination of a blending of 1. They ended up getting all sorts of stuff that day, which was good. It's good. They also had a stout release that day that was pretty good beer finish. It was really, really good. But this one, nicknamed Vanilla Gorilla. So I'm just going to be honest. It does kind of, you can tell where I believe it's going to lean in a direction of smell just by the name of it. But wanted to get all of that out of the way before we started getting a little tasting here. So
I think it would be really fun someday to do a pick and do a tater sticker with a flavor name like that has nothing to do with what it just some crazy name, like Super Cupcake Bomb or something like that. And it's like, this tastes absolutely nothing like cupcakes.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, why would they call it that? Why would you call it Hostess Factory?
It tastes like
Hostess Unicorn.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait.
Oh,
these don't taste like Fruit Loops. They taste like the Malto-Meal version.
Oh.
I like the Malto-Meal version.
Yeah. I was just thinking there was a couple Swiss cake roll. You know what I mean? Some type of chocolate or a ding dong. Oh, man.
It's not nice to talk about Mitch like that.
No. You know how many times...
He is not a Swiss cake roll, sir.
The best part is you work in a corporate setting and someone keeps receiving boxes of ding dongs and they don't quite understand what's going on. But that was the greatest thing to do to people.
That's pretty good.
So you got a delivery. What? Yeah, this is a box of ding dongs for you up at the front counter. Yeah, someone really delivered them. They are here. You have to come pick them up.
DoorDash them.
No, then there's a receipt. This is
$50 box of ding dongs.
You know what's worth it. You know there's a person that needs that.
Oh, it'd be worth it for the right person. It would totally be worth it. But
hey, Donald, how's it going? Good to see you.
as a joke, it would not be good.
DoorDash Allen pickled eggs at work one day.
That's just a bad day.
He eats them and then he gasses the entire distillery.
Yeah.
Wait, on his last day, we set this.
Just like 30 pickled eggs.
Yeah.
Just make him
Cool.
and be like,
instead of a cake, it smells out goodbye.
And then just make him regret.
Oh, a pickled egg cake.
Oh.
Oh.
My body hurts, man. Thinking about that.
There was a visceral reaction to this.
Yeah. Donald, hi.
Yeah, it's good to see Donald. All right, I'm gonna take a drink and not think about anything and come back to smelling something else because
Smelling the Dirty Helen.
I may have been tainted there. And that is another one. We have another show where we can pull Dirty Helen. We obviously have done Maddie Gladden, but I think with people who don't know her, we could pull her in. There's a neat little Women of Old Whiskey where I think it's neat to see it given to people who did cool stuff in the past, not just somebody, you know.
Yes.
Now Dirty Helen is cool, but she's not as cool as Maddie Gladden. I'm sorry. I can't.
I mean,
you can't. You have 5 husbands. One in a PT Barnum was an illicit lover. You were a madam the entire time. Husband number 3 and number 5 are the same person, but in between you shot him in the face because he tried to break into your house when he was drunk because he thought he lived there still, but then you married him afterwards. The story goes on, so it's just hard to top Maddie.
Yeah,
but Dirty Helen hasn't.
Let's not give her any ideas.
Gets a divorce, gets lost.
yes.
Well, she still had insurance on you, so you were breaking and entering at that point, man.
Well, I think Helen and Maddie would have been friends.
Yes, they would have,
or at least they would have gotten along well.
Helen
2 women that like they'd
Maddie.
be sitting at a table in a bar. Would be Dirty Helen's bar, but they'd be sitting at a table, and these guys would come in and you're like, "You go talk to him." No, you go talk to him. No, you go talk to him, and nobody would. They'd all be too chicken to go talk to him. I think it'd just be hilarious.
I can see Helen kind of working an area for Maddie.
Yeah. When I remember Dirty Helen last year at Distill America, after all the things that we sampled over those hours, and then one of the last things that I tried on the way out was the Dirty Helen barrel strength rye. And that stood out so much at the end of the night. And then of course trying to find it when, the last 2 times going to Wisconsin, of course, can't find it, anywhere. But I remember that rye was just like, holy crap. After everything else, it just completely stood out. So, hopefully you'll find that one too. This, I'm very happy for this bottle to have this bottle of bourbon, not rye, but
yeah. Oh, you're right. The rye was very surprising. And when I had that there, when that gets to be a 4-year-old rye, it's going to be nice. But after these 2, originally when I normally have this, I get a little, okay, let's just go with what I'm getting, not versus a comparison after this. So I'm getting like a little bit of
say that again.
Caramely sawdust vanilla. I don't know sawdust, but it's like the room where woodwork's done. Brown sugar, no molasses. It's a really dark note in there. Molasses sugar cookie with vanilla icing, but there's some fruit I haven't even gotten to yet. But normally when I get this, my first couple really deep notes are just a lot of vanilla. So the 2 brandies beforehand have kind of lessened that a little bit for me on the nose on the way in. So I will be quiet. Mike or Morgan, where are you getting on the nose? And Mitch, you can smell too.
I can.
You can.
In fact, I normally smell. Well, I shower.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
It's interesting having the person who can contradict me on stream rather than like commenting in the background.
And you guys have been very pleasant to each other. I want to see the one you're like, nope, that's a lie. I'm not smelling that at all. I think something's broken in your nose. I've had that with my wife.
Very, very possible.
There are some smells that, like I said, she's very good and pegs it on me sometimes more so on the nose. But there's some things her nose is just dead too. There's a few smells that it's just like, no. How can you not smell this? It's huge.
I mean, there are some smells that I'm like super sensitive to, right? Like, because it's just something that I absolutely hate. So if it's ever in there, it's like, oh yeah, there it is. And people are like, what? And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's
like what?
Yeah, what do you hate?
Like bell pepper.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Green pepper. You do hate green pepper.
I hate the smell of green bell peppers. And like there is a Scotch distillery that like a lot of their stuff has that in there. And I'm just like, no.
Perfect. So next time I'm mad at you, I'm going to eat a bunch of green pepper and then belt your face.
Rub them all over the pillows and stuff.
I'll feed Duncan people food, and he'll gas us out, and I won't be able to sell anything.
So how are you with green peppers in things? Like if it's cooked in like potatoes O'Brien?
Yeah, like if you cook green bell peppers, I'll eat them all day long. But if it's just the smell of raw, like freshly cut green bell peppers.
I was going to be like, I'll get you some dots, but they're going to be the garden vegetable version. Because that's what I think of them. I'm like, I think of like not spicy green pepper as like a vegetable.
But that's also why I hate jalapenos, because to me they have a similar flavor profile as bell peppers.
Yeah, see? Reed is on your side.
Spicy bell pepper. And it's like, oh, no, I don't want this at all.
All right. So what are you guys getting on the nose?
I remember dust, kind of like old dust. Like you go into somewhere that hasn't been disturbed in a long time. And then hint of cherry, corn. And then what's that green waxy leaf tree?
Eucalyptus?
Aloe vera?
Magnolia? Maybe eucalyptus. I don't remember. I had one growing up in front of the house.
Go with the other one. I don't get as much eucalyptus. I think it's the other one. Sorry, eucalyptus I get like in spades out of bullet. Like that's not a bullet fan at all. I can't.
It's not like a POW. It's like so growing up we had this tree in front of our house. I forget what it is, but it had these giant waxy leaves on it, and our hose spigot was behind the tree. So every time I'd go back there, I'd end up getting hit in the face with like a leaf as big as my face because I was growing up, right? And I wasn't this big.
So you say.
And your mom used to put green bell peppers on the handle for the spigot.
No, not quite.
No. Whoa. I'm going to hold back because I don't want to give my tasting notes on this first. So, sorry, Mike.
Go ahead, Morgan.
You go ahead. I'm letting that simmer for a second.
It's not to take an easy route. It's vanilla forward bourbon notes. But the way that the corn comes through, there's like a, not a sweet corn, but just a sweetness to the corn, like a syrupy corn that's coming across for me. Then there's nuttiness. It's weird because I was getting a hint like on the nose, and I got this before, and I've got it a couple times, but there's a thing that it's like one of those mixes you make for snacking on. There's a puppy chow that's like powdered sugar and chocolate over rice checks, and then there's another one that you do. I can't remember what you put on the rice checks, but you do. I think it's vanilla cake batter that you mix over with it, so it gets all right. I know. So yeah, it's real healthy. It's great, but I mean, but it's that birthday cakey vanilla doughy. I was getting that like I would get it like on the back end of the note, of the nose when I was nosing it. But that the sweetness of that corn it's like I don't want to say artificial sweetness, but it is. It's like a man-made syrupy sweetness that I get on the palate from the corn.
Well, on this, it's like when you were describing it, it was kind of milkshaky. It was like there's this, I don't want to say chewiness to it, but like, hold on here.
There's kind of a like a vanilla kettle corn to it that I get.
That's a weird way to put it, but I like that vanilla kettle corn. It does have like after you finish, I still get like almost a molassesy, like it's really dark brown sugar. I'm gonna lean more molasses that's just been torched for a second. Very lingering with that across the bottom of my tongue, with like a sugary, woody sugary finish on the bottom of my tongue. Yes, but I do feel like I'm supposed to be chewing through something right now. I feel like I'm still supposed to be working something out, like it's hanging around a lot.
I definitely get that like kettle corn. I think that's a spot on tasting note. It's like kettle corn, but then you took, instead of like salt to top it with, it's like you took a vanilla powder almost and kind of like sprinkled it on. But then I also feel like I have a bag of that, but I'm standing out in a field during harvest eating it, because I really got a lot of that like dusty field barn kind of flavor in that too.
Like that's in the second half is where it gets all like that comes to fruition.
Yeah.
But like the front half is so kind of top-ended in the sugary, and then all of a sudden, like it's like you said, the other half of the experience opens up.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those ones where I'm like, it lingers on the finish.
Mm-hmm.
You can different than I had before. So that's I don't want to say I hate that, but that, like you said, sometimes what you had earlier or something else kind of changes a little bit what it was. There was another. Thank you, airport. There was one of the other barrels was a 4-year-old bourbon as well, but that one was a very herbal, floral explosion, not this way. So it was a completely different torque, and everything in those, just the only thing different where it was in the warehouse. Same barrel, same blah blah blah, same everything, just here or here. And I was like, wow, that's wild to get classic heavy, you could use this to cut or blend in something very easily. We're like, okay, here's these notes, and I'm like, but to get this other really herbal, floral, same bourbon out of it is pretty wild. That's pretty neat, and that's part of like an experience when you go someplace, when you get to try stuff from here or here or here, that really helps you tie it together. Like Whiskey Thief is nice at the end. At least you get to try, 3, 5 barrels, maybe 5, 6, or 5, 8, whatever they feel like that day. But there's other places where if you're on tour, you might try 2 or 3 barrels throughout the place at random. I'm like, and some of those have the most insane things going on in them. Excuse me. Sorry.
Because you're right.
Yeah, that's true. Holy cow. I had no idea that was an hour. That's not too bad. It went by quick. I don't know what to tell you. Time flies.
Time flies when you're having.
Yeah,
Morgan, that's good. You had a bunch of good notes today, Morgan. So thank you for coming on and stepping in today.
Yeah,
that's because she's good.
We may have to tap into that more often. No offense to Mitch.
It's okay.
It's open. You're welcome to come on.
I get it.
You're
sometimes welcome. Mitch will come on. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just having a show with the guys.
We have a show tonight. Getting ready.
I'll help Emily mod.
No. So, but remember, next week we will be talking to what?
I'm gonna blend the two brandies real quick, and then I'm gonna put all three together.
Ooh.
Okay, all right. We can stick around for another minute. Right where your head.
Just gotta do it.
I gotta do it. Okay, the brandy one is very, very small here.
Oh,
weird. I blended in, I think my first glass. So I'm going more of the apricot notes on the nose.
Oh wow, the standard Dancing Goat kind of overpowers it.
Really?
It's a strong goat.
Yeah, I'd say so. Wow. That's way more than I would have thought.
I thought
Very
it
interesting.
hands down would have been the other way around.
Yes. Well,
Yep.
and the other one, I mean, it has some of the three in it anyway, so maybe it's just a bigger proportion helps take it over the top. You know?
It added more body to the to the Dancing Goat though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Oh, the three together.
Yep. Hold on here.
Oh boy.
So I don't have to get too buzzed up.
Gotta get wet.
Smells flattened out a little bit, but like a cream soda flattened. Ooh. This smells like a parfait, like a creamy.
A whiskey parfait.
A whiskey parfait.
That'd be a great tater sticker name.
Yeah, this combo is pretty good.
There's not enough brandy in our mix.
Okay,
It
well,
smells almost exactly like the.
you can fix that.
I'm 50-50, so
This is like the
we're
$6,000
pretty darn close to it. Ooh,
You know what?
it's like a wine finished bourbon
That's creamy.
with vanilla.
Yeah. Well, the cream is vanilla. It's like a vanilla cream.
Yeah.
Nope.
Green peppers.
Nope.
That's all right. We've all had that combo before on the show.
Sometimes it's right out of the bottle with homegrown on the side of it.
Yeah. You know what? Let's put like a warning label for the thing that you should be afraid of most is if the label has the word homegrown on it. That is a very scary statement. Just take that into account from now on.
And you're not making it, but you're telling people that you are.
Well, that's a whole different level. Just the fact that it's.
But that's the whole
weird.
thing. It's like it's one thing if you had a real legitimate story, this was a thing, whatever.
But homegrown is like
calling it homegrown. That's like saying I made you this dinner, and then there's containers in the trash from PF Chang's.
But what's sitting on the table? They pull off the Hungry Man dinner like saran wrap right in front of you at the table. That's what was happening there.
The favorite meal of divorced men everywhere.
I made dinner.
But I guess that's why I've never had Hungry Man. Never did.
I'm going to eat this and watch the A-Team.
That does sound pretty good, though.
It's not a bad night, no. All right.
It does. It's like a wine finished bourbon.
Yeah, like it's a neat little twist on those two. But no, I'm happy with all three of these today.
Yeah. Go Wisconsin.
Yeah, but the weird twist on the Berens one, better and just a different torque than what I was expecting them to put on it right away. To be honest,
I was surprised, knowing nothing about it. I was very surprised at that.
Well, and that's why I wanted
So
to do
both
that.
good, and I think those two brandies they each have their own lane.
Exactly. They're separated. Definitely. It's not close, and that's what I wanted to make sure it wasn't. I'm like, or I would have giggled had they both been exactly the same. There's a part of me that would have been like,
yeah. Well, it's probably and if of course we were talking with Fred, I'm sure he would
Yes.
he would, and I would hope he would correct me, but I would imagine the labeling of the Dancing Goat brandy, how it looks, it's in a wine type bottle and has more of a wine label to it, probably has something to do with this is
its appeal
it ain't
target
cool.
audience.
And it's nicer versus this with the labeling on it. It's cool, looks more classic, but also kind of looks like a whiskey label.
Well, like I said, it looks. Plus, it's retro, man. Let's see if I can. This harkens back to like a beer and a pack of cigarettes. It look
Man,
like
that really does, right?
That was what did you got? I got a beer. I got some booze, a beer, and a pack
A
of
light
smokes.
up sign hanging behind you with a pull chain to turn it on.
Oh, exactly.
That's what that looks like.
100%. 100% dead on with that.
So I mean, I've seen the Dancing Goat a couple places in Wisconsin. Is the Berens also available all around Wisconsin?
All around Wisconsin, and I believe that's going to has much wider distribution, or will be in the process. That's I think going to have a much more national push out of it. Nice. What I believe, just because of the guy you don't know who does comedy, because of him.
I have to look him up.
You have to look him.
Yeah,
he does a lot of walleye jokes, so.
It does a lot of Midwest jokes and Wisconsin jokes, and I'm
all for that. I just honestly have never.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's so much stuff to catch up on.
Dude, that's one of the same thing with like distilleries here. When people are like, have you ever heard of this? Is like, no.
Yeah,
I don't.
You can't do them all. Yeah, I did watch. Either you guys watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Oh, not the most recent one, no.
Yeah, so it ended. And it built up about how I thought it was going to go. But as I get older, I do find myself feeling more and more like Larry David. Where it's just, you just want to call somebody out. But you didn't have to do that. And there's some, anyway, yeah.
I'll have to watch it because, yes, I do. I like that sense of humor and repartee between people where there was, when you just had Seinfeld, and it's like, well, how many conversations are legit that you just quietly, some people just will say nothing, and you're like, what the fuck is with this button? You know, or the buttons at the bottom, like, why do I have like 4 extra buttons? Like,
there was a whole thing that had to do with not being able to make a zipper on a sweater work this season, and it caused a what do you call it, domino effect of other stuff. Yeah. There's like stuff like, it's pretty good.
Oh, excellent. So congratulations to Dancing Goat and to Great Lakes for what they did today. Thank you, Morgan and Mitch, for stopping and being with us. Thank you both. We really appreciate it. And some excellent notes today. And make sure to stop in next Monday where we'll be talking with Alan and Brian Cushing about absinthe and the documentary that they did, because it's neat to see stuff like that where people have real passion and will take the time to put together something that you would, I want to say, might see on PBS or something like that. That how much work goes into it when it's not picked up by PBS, when you're putting forth the work to make something happen so that people of the area have something to hold on to. You know, like, creating history is another thing. You know, that's a recreating or creating the actual touch to the past is a big deal. Or
unearthing it as they did too. It's almost like, it's kind of like finding your roots for distilled spirits. Yeah, where it's like, well, I think we'd do this. Well, you think that it would be like that, but we have proof that shows this. Would you like to turn the page? I love it.
You know what? And you know what? I'd rather distill it like that too, but I can't because on this page it says this.
Yeah.
So make sure you stop out for that. And until then, remember, it's not to the size of the den that matters. It's the love of whiskey. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.